The bright sun shines on his face, warm and itchy, and the cool sea breeze awakens Jong Yun lying on the beach. What? My 10 years of accumulation. The shouting Jong Yun suddenly realized that something was wrong, and quickly looked around and found that she was on a certain beach with shells and unknown stones scattered all over the floor. There was a blue sea in front of her and dense forest behind her. What happened? Isn't the game closed? Shouldn't I be forced out of the game? Why is it still in the game? Map. Jong Yun looked dazed, and then yelled, and a rectangular virtual map jumped out in front of her eyes. However, all the location markings on the map are gone, and the original color has also become a black area, completely covered by fog. Jong Yun couldn't tell where this was. Damn! Is this a bug? Jong Yun was puzzled and opened the system bar, intending to contact the game customer service, but found that most of the functions on the system bar had disappeared. Include the exit key. This thing also disappeared. Fuck. I crossed. After 5 minutes of research, Jong Yun came to the conclusion that she passed through. Because the simulation in the game is not 100%, all the object models are flawed, especially small objects such as stones and shells that need to appear in large numbers. They are definitely 100% mass-produced replicas, and their appearance and details will be exactly the same. And everything on this beach, whether it is the smoothness and size of the stones, or the color and texture of the shells, are all different. And he was able to pull out his hair of different lengths, and even shed red blood instead of the original green harmonious blood. Including the 100% pain sensation when the body was injured, it can all show that this place is not a scene in the game. In addition, I did not quit the game, the system functions disappeared collectively, and I suddenly woke up from the strange beach. There is basically no error in this judgment. Bye. How can I cross? Well, just wear it. Anyway, I have no father or mother, no car or house, and a single dog. The salary is barely enough for food and clothing. My only interest is playing games. As Jong Yun said, he is an orphan that is too ordinary to be ordinary. He has grown up in the beatings of society since he was a child. No one loves no one. Only the virtual game life can make him happy. Every day he sees the fantastic and wonderful world. Scenery, talk about life with the emotionally rich NPC, and enjoy the shocking game plot. If you can't play games full of unknowns, Jong Yun's life becomes meaningless. Just like a music master who has lost his hearing, there is no need to continue to live. After such an experience, Jong Yun is naturally not disgusted with crossing, and even feels a little surprise. After all, it is more exciting than playing games. However, before crossing, Jong Yun was playing a card drawing online game called Lost Kingdom. This is his favorite game and the game he has played for the longest time. It has been playing since the start of the server until now. For one of the legendary titles called King of Hamsters, Jong Yun started serving as a hamster, and completed the tasks every day. One activity did not fall, a gift package was not missed, the main line was all accessible, all the copies were passed, and all the rewards, the entourage uses the characters that are given free of charge. The pictures of the monsters are all based on details. All the dragon diamonds have not been moved, and all the lottery tickets have not been used. After 10 years of accumulation, there are countless rare resources in the warehouse and 1.92 million diamonds. Only the last 80,000 will be able to complete the special task of accumulating 2 million dragon diamonds and obtain the unclaimed legendary title. He only needs the last step, the official opening of a big event, and then buying a gift package with Krypton Gold to get the remaining 80,000 dragon diamonds. Unexpectedly, at this juncture, the game company suddenly announced that the server will be closed after 5 minutes, and Jong Yun also traveled to another world at the last moment of the server closed, with a castrated version of the game system. Jong Yun touched her chin. Go back to where? But what should I do now? This mysterious world may be alive. Eating and drinking are also a problem. Yes, let's find a way to live first, and consider other issues later. The rule of survival in the wild in another world, the first step is to find food and water, and then find a safe and warm place, cut down trees to build your own refuge. The wool is all a calf. If every dead fat boy has it with this ability, who would stay in the game world every day? Compared with those half-knowledgeable hardcore survival plans, Zhang Yun is more hopeful of the game system she brings, especially the few functions she has just seen that can be used. Properties panel. Accompanied by Zhang Yun's shout, the Undelete Attribute panel suddenly appeared and displayed in detail in front of Zhang Yun. Name, Zhang Yun. Race, Terran Legacy, Chosen Summoner. Occupation, None. Title, None. Level, Level 1. Experience value, 0. Health value, 45/50 Endurance value, 17/20 Personal attributes, Strength 4, Agility 4, Endurance 3, Intelligence 3, Spirit 4, Charisma 5. Free attribute points, 0. Possess skills, none. Equipment, none. Follower, none. Power belongs to, none. Overall qualification evaluation, 1-star. Introduction, a lonely novice summoner. Oh yeah! It can really be summoned, at Level 1 initial panel? I thought I would bring the previous full level panel. Well, forget it, it's a good thing to have a panel and experience points, at least you can upgrade yourself and have the opportunity to become stronger. Looking at the attributes in front of her, Zhang Yun sighed for a while, then opened her backpack. There was nothing in the backpack, and all the medicines and food stored before were gone. Although in the game they were all worthless basic items, but for Zhang Yun at this moment, these were super rare treasures that could save lives. No way! Even the basic materials have been initialized for me. Could it be that I used the characters after the game was closed? It feels cold. After a pause, Zhang Yun suddenly remembered her teenager inventory. I don't know if these items were initialized like her backpack items. After all, when the server was closed, all data was deleted. After thinking about it, he hurriedly called out warehouse. Wow! Environmental mutation. Zhang Yun entered his different dimensional warehouse. Oh! Wheat! Karma! Shocked but toneless shouts resounded through the earth, because Zhang Yun discovered that all the props of his hamster for 10 years had been quietly piled up in the room, without the slightest decrease, and even the position had not been changed. 1.92 million dragon diamonds, countless ordinary summoning scrolls, resurrection coins that can resurrect characters, true dragon horns and true dragon tails that can create artifacts, 100% summoning 5-star heroes must-have scrolls, which can permanently increase the attributes of each a kind of fruit, exclusive props for cultivating followers, upgrade experience crystals for heroes, and limited cards for summoning New Year's gods. All of all. Everything. None of them are cleared by the system. He came to another world with the treasure. And many more. Do not get excited. There are these things though. But it doesn't mean you can use it. What if they change like the system function? What if you cannot use it yourself? Zhang Yun swallowed, picked up the not-so-precious golden apple next to it, and bit down. Eat a golden apple, restore 2,000 points of health, restore 10,000 points of endurance, and obtain a state of energetic. The decline of endurance is reduced by 50%, and some negative states are dispelled. It lasts for 10 minutes and is immune within 10 minutes. Part of the negative state. For an instant, Zhang Yun felt as if she had been beaten up with blood, full of vitality all over her body, and the unknown fear that was originally caused by the crossing also disappeared, leaving only unspeakable excitement and joy. Fuck! Absolute! I'm invincible! Zhang Yun was happy, and tried several other props, and found that all of them were effective. The summoning scrolls in the warehouse can also be used by Zhang Yun, and as in the game, he can select different card pools for summoning, so as to draw cards in a targeted manner and obtain the most useful heroes for him. Of course, because of the traversal, the card pool system has also undergone a little change, that is, all the officially closed card pools, such as limited pools, linkage pools, inheritance pools, etc., all appear on Zhang Yun's card drawing interface. In other words, Zhang Yun can now draw all the heroes of the Lost Nation so far, even the out-of-print heroes he had previously reluctantly given up for the title. Now he can get a massive lottery ticket. But he can't smoke. The reason is that the mission system and the title system are still there, and the Hamster King is still there. The requirement is to save 2 million dragon diamonds. Zhang Yun will never give up this goal that he has persisted for 10 years. The 4-star and 5-star heroes, even if they are not used in the warehouse, will automatically consume the dragon diamond to feed them. That's right, the most expensive thing in this game is not to draw cards, but to raise heroes, especially heroes with higher quality and higher levels. They will consume more dragon diamonds, so even if you can draw them, there are not enough resources to support them. Even the gods who have mines at home can't raise enough heroes, because the amount of Krypton gold obtained by dragon diamonds is limited, and there will be no difference between the dragon diamonds you can get with a charge of 80,000 and a million. Isn't it incredible that this official has money and doesn't make money? Sand sculpture? Sorry, the game was developed by them. They can operate the game as they want. Master is so headstrong, that is, if you don't lift Dragon Diamond's Krypton gold limit, you just want to shut down the server, just don't give players time to prepare. Are you in charge? Therefore, no matter who it is necessary to start saving resources and not drawing cards from the beginning of the server to complete the Hamster King task as soon as possible. This task is not something human can do. Except Zhang Yun. However, from the perspective of the game's server level, he is still incomplete. Okay, the problem of Dragon Diamond consumption is solved. As before, continue the warehouse and it will be over. Zhang Yun happily exited the warehouse and returned to the beach, looking at the blue sea. So, there is still 80,000 dragon diamonds. How to accomplish this part of the goal? Zhang Yun smiled and clicked on the sign-in system, and looked at the 7-day sign-in to get rewards above, and an icon named Holy Dragon's Cup. Sign in on the 7th, reincarnation every week, and 120 diamonds will be sent on the last day. This is one of the sources of dragon diamonds. The Holy Dragon's Cup, a special item from the newcomer's gift pack, will give an extra 30 diamonds every day when you log in and sign in. The duration is permanent. This is the second source of dragon diamonds. The two add up to get 330 diamonds in 1 week, 17,160 diamonds in 1 year, and the goal of 80,000 diamonds can be completed in almost 4 years. This is just the number of check-ins. If you add in the tasks that may be triggered in this world and the additional dragon diamonds that may exist in this world, it is estimated that the time can be reduced by another part, about 2 years or so. Of course, considering the unknown nature of this world, it is very likely that there is no dragon diamond, nor can it trigger the task for the dragon diamond. At that time, the only way to obtain the dragon diamond is to sign in. In short, we must first explore the world and figure out the situation. Zhang Yun had a plan in her heart and began to formulate her own exploration plan, especially the part about her own safety. Although he has a large amount of resurrection coins hoarding for 10 years to revive himself, there is a limit on the quantity of these things, and they will be completely used up when they are used up. If you want to replenish, you must buy the dragon diamond in the mall. There is basically no other way to obtain it. The speed of Hualongzuan is much faster than that of Xiuanlongzuan. If you don't save money, you may not get the title of Hamster King for a lifetime. Therefore, for the sake of the King of Hamsters, death cannot happen if it does not happen, so as not to waste the dragon diamond when the resurrection coins are really used up. More importantly, because of the content of the game over the years, the basic resources are never enough to fill everyone, but every character has the opportunity to play. If the wrong character is invested, it will not be able to challenge a specific instance, and it will pull down other players. Cut. Therefore, Zhang Yun has developed a special habit of being able to keep a position in his heart, and if he cannot use it, he will never open a position and use resources unless he has a last resort. He. Hamster before invincible. When I get the title of King of Hamsters, I will get the legendary effect. At that time, you can wave whatever you want, go wherever you want, eat whatever you want, ha 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 ha. After Zhang Yun's thoughts, he found that the best way to protect his safety was to call his followers. After all, Zhang Yun's main body upgrade needs to fight monsters. If he fights blindly without knowing the combat power of this world, he is likely to be beaten up, let alone upgrade at that time, maybe he will lose a lot of resources. And let the entourage go to fight, no matter whether he wins or loses, Zhang Yun can figure out the enemy's combat effectiveness. If the enemy is strong, sacrifice his entourage and run away on his own. If the enemy is weak, let the entourage beat the opponent half to death, and then make up the knife to gain experience. Anyway, ordinary followers can be resurrected, and resurrection items are not resurrection coins that need to be exchanged for dragon diamonds, but ordinary items that can be obtained by signing in daily. Therefore, this sacrifice does not matter, it is not a wasteful act, and Zhang Yun does not feel distressed at all. Well, the next step is the hero's consideration. First of all, 4-star and 5-star heroes are not considered, because they will consume dragon diamonds, so you can only choose from heroes of 3 stars and below. Then, don't need functional heroes. Most of them don't have any fighting power. They don't know if their main abilities are useful in this unknown world. Calling them now will only waste resources. After understanding the state of the world, and then calling them in a targeted manner, they can exert their greatest value. Among the remaining battle heroes, first exclude the heroes who need to be summoned by the summoning scroll. After all, Zhang Yun doesn't know if she is African or not. In case she gets a 4 or 5-star hero, she won't have time to cry. At this point, the conditions are very clear. Zhang Yun's most suitable summoning object is the specific summoning card sent by the system stored in the warehouse. The so-called special summoning card is the special item that Zhang Yun gave when doing missions and activities. You can summon the corresponding low-star character, or you can choose not to summon it. Because the intensity is not high and resources are wasted, Zhang Yun has always regarded them as collections and kept them in the warehouse as a warehouse manager. I didn't expect it to be so useful now. Zhang Yun looked at the inventory and found that she had a lot of specific summoning cards in his collection, including many races and attributes, including the African god of war with high potential, and rare cards that could summon 5-star heroes. After thinking about it, Zhang Yun said to herself, the beach is facing the sea. This place may be the edge of a certain continent, or it may be an island. The mainland is okay. If you keep walking along the forest, you can meet the aborigines in another world. If it is a desert island, you must find a way to cross the sea and go to a continent rich in materials. Considering the issue of crossing the sea, it is best to be marine creatures that can move freely in the sea, followed by flying creatures with sufficiently high endurance. The size of these two creatures must be large to ensure that they can protect themselves from being swept away by the waves when they encounter storms and waves. At the same time, they are strong enough to defeat most creatures in the sea. Damn it! There are many heroes who meet these conditions, but all of them are existences that can be obtained by drawing cards. There does not seem to be an existence that can go into the sea in his own specific summoning card. Even if there are, they are small aquatic creatures that cannot bring people. As for the entourage that can fly, they are all small creatures that can't take people, and even they might not even be able to cross the ocean by themselves. Zhang Yun worried, this is embarrassing. After a pause, he said to himself again, forget it, don't worry, this place is probably not a desert island, and he doesn't necessarily have to summon an existence that can cross the sea. Let's talk about the situation in the woods first. If it is an island, then we will find a way. Afterwards, Zhang Yun looked at the specific summoning card she possessed, meditated for a moment, and found the most suitable follower for the current situation. Summon Tide Murloc. Name: Tide Murloc. Race: Title inheritance, none. Occupation: warrior. Title: none. Level: level 1. Experience value: 0. Health value: 100/100. Endurance value: 50/50. Personal attributes: Strength 5, Agility 6, Endurance 5, Intelligence 1, Spirit 0, Charisma 0. Free attribute points: 0. Possess skills: Symbiosis equipment: Rusty Scimitar. Summoner: Zhongyun Faction, Kingdom of Tides. Overall qualification evaluation: 1-star. Introduction: ordinary soldiers in the Tidal Kingdom can fight in the water and on land. Their speed will be increased when in the water. They have certain intelligence, and their growth potential is not high. The Murlocs, low-star cannon fodder. Followers: amphibians and land and water can fight. Now they can be used to explore the forest situation, and then they can act as a frigate when crossing the sea to protect their safety. If necessary, you can also summon other creatures of the Tide clan, let them form an alignment deck, and get various attribute bonuses and auras. Of course, other creatures of the Tide clan have no specific summoning cards, and Zhongyun must draw from the Land and Water Kingdom Tide pool. There is also the symbiosis ability of the Little Murloc. Zhongyun has not personally used this thing, but he has seen some Tidal Flow players' operations. They usually use the skills to cheat the skill type boss. You can take away 2 boss at once. Damage skills: if it is a flat A-type boss, you can also consider using them as meat, attracting boss with low IQ to attack them, and creating output time for remote output. In addition, the Little Murloc has several useful skills, but they must be upgraded to a certain level or consume resources to upgrade to stars to unlock them. In general, this thing is a good transition in the early stage, and in the later stage, you can also choose to release it or be a tool person. Anyway, its regular consumption cost is not large, and it is no problem to raise a dozen at random. Therefore, Zhongyun summoned 10 Tide Murlocs in a row as the vanguard of his own exploration of another world. You 3, form a team and go to that forest to see the situation. You 3, take a walk along the beach to see if this is an island. The 4 of you are left. Go for a swim in the sea, catch a few fish, and see if there are any good guys near the shallows. As soon as they appeared, Zhongyun commanded them ably, exactly the same as when they were playing the game. And these Murlocs with a certain amount of intelligence were also very obedient, waving the machete in their hands, and heading to the location given by Zhongyun in batches. Yes, it's a good command, no wonder people like to use them as meat to attract hatred. Zhongyun was happy, and went to the warehouse again, planning to check her inventory carefully. After all, his warehouse is the ultimate treasure room that has been accumulated for 10 years. There are too many things in it. Naturally, Zhongyun may have forgotten some old treasures. Now count them, find them out, there may be unexpected surprises. However, before Zhongyun began to carefully organize the inventory, the Murloc team heading to the forest was suddenly attacked. Caveat: the Tide Murloc was attacked. Enter the fighting state. Does it follow its vision? Whether? Yes. Zhongyun pressed the button without hesitation, and then her vision changed and she turned to the Little Murloc who was fighting in blood. At this time, the benefits of the entourage are reflected. Zhongyun is hiding in a safe area and can observe the enemy's situation through the entourage's perspective. However, without Zhongyun's close-range command, the entourage must rely on his own wisdom to fight the enemy. For those creatures with low intelligence, this is no different from looking for death. In the later stage, Zhongyun can also learn various buff and aura skills through the inheritance of the summoner. If he does not play in person, the combat level of the entourage and the hero will drop several levels. Therefore, this method is also useful for exploring the way. If it is really going to be a big battle, Zhongyun will still play in person to command the overall situation. As for the high-level followers' self-discipline to brush low-level maps to level up, that is another matter. From the perspective of the little murloc, Zhang Yun saw a one-horned python more than 4 meters long, with its body wrapped in a ball, and one of the little murlocs was tightly twisted. The trapped little murloc struggled frantically, but couldn't shake the body of the python at all. The other little murlocs slashed the body of the python with a scimitar, but couldn't make a wound. Can't break the defense. Zhang Yun muttered to herself in surprise. He didn't stand beside the python, so he couldn't use his skills to see the python data and the damage output caused by each other. Similarly, he can't see the status of the little murloc and the amount of blood deducted, he can only judge the general situation of both sides from the picture in the perspective. This is the same as the principle that he cannot remotely command the little murloc. It is regarded as an official restriction on the players, lest some big guys do multitasking every day and hang dozens of boss maps to quickly brush materials, affecting the overall environment. But this temptation was not without results. At least Zhang Yun figured out the insecurity in the woods, and squatted on a monster that could crush a level 1 murloc. Okay. Maybe there are stronger monsters in there. Zhang Yun was thinking that the python over there had used death strangulation to solve the trapped little murloc. It opened its blood basin and bit its head at another murloc who had a machete to split its head. At this time, the dead little murloc activates the skill symbiosis. A strange liquid emerges from the body, the entire purple skin becomes light green, and it is rejuvenated with vitality. Then it picked up the scimitar that fell to the ground and pierced it into the unsuspecting python's abdomen. Nourish! The scimitar was inserted into the abdomen, and a wound was made, blood flowed out, and the python cried out in pain. Oh! It turned out to be a specialized defense. Zhang Yun exclaimed when he noticed this scene. With high defense scales, it can withstand the attacks of first-level murlocs with weapons, and even the attacks of more advanced entourages. But the abdomen is the fatal weakness, not only can't stop the attack of the little murloc, even the parasite after the attribute is reduced by half. This means that the giant python in front of you is not a ruthless character, and the level and attributes are not high. You can easily kill it with a little trick yourself. It's a pity that the IQ of the group of tied little murlocs is not high enough, and they didn't find the vulnerability of Snake Belly. They continued to attack indiscriminately, slashing towards the back where they were easier to hit, and then bounced away with a bang. Hey! Anxious! Zhang Yun was very sad in this wave. No wonder the little murloc can only rank 1 star with such a good skill. Too mentally retarded. Obviously, I saw the enemy's blood soaking, so I didn't take advantage of the fire to sprinkle salt on the wound, but slashed at the hardest part of the opponent's body. Are you ironing, bro? Or smelting copper? If they were replaced by 2-star or 3-star entourage, they must now see the weakness of the python, and then attack the abdomen with all their strength. Being smarter will divide the work and cooperate, attracting attention on the one hand, and slamming on weakness on the other. Unless the pythons give up offensively, they will definitely be slashed to death by their followers. After all, its belly is too fragile. Bleeding at once. Sure enough, it would be a mistake to expect the character to be self-reliant for free. I still have to play in person. Zhang Yun sighed, taking back the few murlocs who were not in combat, and then released them again. Go, follow me into the woods. Zhang Yun gave an order, and the tidal fish people who were originally stupid looking around immediately gathered around him and followed him to the woods. The little murloc ran very fast and were not far away, so when Zhang Yun arrived at the location of the incident, the python hadn't killed the 3 hapless ghosts. He immediately began to command the battle. 7 of you, spread out, surround the python, and slash its chin against the snake's head, try to stab its abdomen from the side, and climb on its back if you can't touch it, try to ride. Get it to its neck and put pressure on it, it's best to control its head. The bitten one, give up struggling, pretend you are dead, and see if it will let you go. The one over there, don't hit the back, try to stab it in the stomach. This is the inheritance skill of the summoner, called Ling, which can directly command the follower in words, and let any follower with IQ understand the commander's intentions and complete the scenario imagined by the commander. Even a Taihanin with no IQ can complete Zhang Yun's instructions without any problems. It is very convenient to let it go to the left and not to the right. When Zhang Yun's level improves in the future, there is no need for him to use such a grounded verbal command. Just thinking about it in his heart, his followers will be able to understand his intentions. Okay. That's right. Quantum command science. And if he changes to a more advanced hero, he doesn't even have to think about it, he doesn't need to command at all, because a hero with a high IQ will make his own strategy. With Zhang Yun's joining, the little fish people suddenly became vigorous and rushed towards the python one by one with teeth and mouth, and surrounded the python according to Zhang Yun's command. Wow! Pull! Wow! The fishmen shouted and attacked, trying to weaken the python's combat effectiveness with words. The one-horned python encountered a siege and panicked for a while, dropped the little murloc who was pretending to be dead, and slammed into the surrounding enemies. Zhang Yun immediately ordered, "Good opportunity, pick up the knife and hammer its belly." The little murloc who pretended to be dead immediately got up and grabbed the scimitar beside him. Since its seat was in the middle of the python's body, all these knives slashed firmly on the python's unsuspecting abdomen. Wow! The knife broke through the belly, and the blood of the python splashed on the little murloc, dyeing it red. Zhang Yun also jumped out of detailed system prompts, including the murloc's attack with a knowing blow, causing double damage, and the python's blood volume deducted more than 40 points, and the blood vessels on the head disappeared by 1/5. Oh! More than 200 points of blood? It seems to be a low-level mob. Zhang Yun raised a smile at the corner of her mouth, and her sense of crisis was reduced a lot. Go on, tidal fishers, rush to the master and chop his belly. Dick it! The little fish people screamed in excitement, and while the python turned back in pain, they cut another knife on the exposed white abdomen. Hiss! The python spit out the letter, bit at the murloc, biting off half of its blood in one bite. The few murlocs on the other side seized the opportunity, and instantly cut their belly with a knife, cutting open several wounds in the python's belly, and its blood volume dropped by more than half. At the same time, the little murloc who was strangled at the beginning was stabbed in the wound of the python with a knife. And the one riding on the back of the python is the most outrageous. One hand is holding the body of the python, and the other hand is holding a scimitar and stabbing the python's belly 3 times. The speed is a bit surprising and the damage is not low. Only fish hit a few fishes. Zhang Yun suddenly sighed, this wave of lucky combos hit cowhide. Afterwards, relying on this little murloc's accidental burst of damage, the python blood bar emptied and fell into the overgrown woods with a bang, so that he could not die again. The system prompt also jumped out. The rigid python is dead. Participate in the killing to get a split experience. Tidal murloc kills the hard-armored python, gains 160 experience, level upgrade, current level LV2. Tidal murloc kills the hard-armored python, gains 160 experience, level upgrade, current level LV2. Tidal murlocs finally killed the hard-armored python, gained 860 mending experience, level upgrade, current level LV4. There is no drop prompt? That means I can't fight monsters and brush materials. Zhang Yun touched her chin, crossed out all the system prompts, then walked to the side of the python, squatted down to check the body of the python. He confirmed it again and found that there were no supplies on the body, not even the most basic copper coins. It seems that this function has been eliminated, just like the contact customer service and town teleportation in the game. I can't use it in the future. Tisk, it doesn't matter, the real good things are not brushed anyway. Zhang Yun comforted herself, then put away the body of the python, put it in a backpack that can be opened in battle, and continued instructions. Little fish people explore the woods. Later, after he explored all afternoon, the situation of this place was probably figured out. Good news and bad news. The good news is that there are plenty of supplies here, there are many trees full of fruit, and there are many otherworldly creatures that seem to be edible. He can stay in this place for several years if he wants to. The bad news is that this place, as he guessed it, is an island facing the sea. If he wants to go to other places, he must find a way to cross the sea. But there is a high probability of human existence in another world. And good food. So it's okay to see the beach as soon as you open your eyes. The nightmare will always start by waking up at the beach. Jong Yun sighed and began to plan her future, especially what to do now. Although he discovered that this place is an island, he has not yet fully explored every location on the island. He just stood on a higher hillside and saw the surrounding sea water, so he determined that this place was an island. Similarly, Jong Yun is not clear about the degree of danger on this island, and it is possible that there will be creatures stronger than hard-armored pythons, especially certain monsters that can be judged as boss. And Jong Yun hasn't thought about the entourage and plan that can safely cross the sea, so she has to stay here for at least 3 days. If she waits in this place foolishly and is attacked by a monster, the ghost knows how much resurrection coins and resources will be wasted. This is just a security issue. From the perspective of opportunity, there are no good things in this place, such as the so-called Pirate King's treasure on TV. Maybe it's hidden here. When the two are transformed into each other, there may be a powerful creature in this place that is suitable for making materials. As long as you kill it, you can get the materials for making a certain artifact. Therefore, Jong Yun has to visit this place completely in public and private. It's a pity that it's getting dark now, the little fish people can't see clearly the situation in the woods, and their combat effectiveness will be greatly reduced. Let them explore the situation in the dark, just like giving a cat a ham, a snack warning. Then what should we do? What else can I do? Find a safe and warm place to sleep first. Wouldn't it be good to wait until tomorrow when you wake up refreshed? In fact, Jong Yun can also summon the entourage of the night action to help him explore the island situation, and does not consume the most important dragon drill resources, but he is used to the behavior mode of completing more game goals with the least resources, even if it is a waste of some cheap basic materials or a torture for him, so he cannot summon new followers without summoning them. Unless it is a last resort, such as jumping out of a black dragon level enemy. Then he will never save resources. He directly summons human rights heroes, pulls up the level in one breath, and blasts the black dragon's head. Including the Tide Murloc, the specific summoning card of this thing will be sent every time the Tide Kingdom event is reproduced. There are at least 500 Murlocs in his inventory. Even if they are all summoned to raise him, they can last for tens of thousands of years. But he still chose to call only 10 as thugs. Going deeper, if Jong Yun wants to quickly solve all the current problems, it is very simple. Just draw an ancient dragon out of the lottery ticket, and then use precious resources to upgrade it to full level, and you can easily explore the whole island plus flying across the ocean. It is nothing more than regular consumption of the dragon drill to raise the dragon. They raise it every day. He has accumulated a super inventory for 10 years. Could it be that he still can't raise it? Therefore, Jong Yun is true I can, but I don't want to, because it is unnecessary. 10 years of hamsters are well deserved. After one night, nothing happened. 10 little murlocs stood beside Jong Yun boredly, licking the scimitar from time to time. Jong Yun got up and put away the camping suits on the beach, including basic equipment such as tents, campfires, barbecue grills, sleeping bags and so on. They are all basic items given in the game. Jong Yun has never used it much, so it is durable. The degree is still very high, just like the brand new one. In addition, Jong Yun has a lot of basic props. Although they used to be formalistic items in the game, they are very practical in the current world, and can solve various needs of modern people. As for food and drink, they are on the island and in his warehouse, but they are all very useful consumables, like the golden apples eaten before, and even more powerful things. So he will not just eat the things in the warehouse, but give priority to the resources on the island. Ah, a new day, I will be full of energy today. A wonderful life in another world, I'm here. Zhang Yun sighed twice, and began to instruct the group of little murlocs who had rested all night. They were full of energy, each holding a scimitar, eagerly rushing towards the woods in front of Zhang Yun. Today's goal is to explore the map, fight monsters, upgrade, and improve strength. Zhang Yun watched the little fishers pulling the bushes, and said something in her mouth. First set a small goal to explore 1/2 of the land on the island. The little fish people are all upgraded to level 10. Oh, yes, we have to upgrade too. Happy to open up wasteland after all, Zhang Yun controlled the murloc troops into the dense forest, and continued to hide on the beach with a wide view, remotely controlling the battle. It didn't take long for the small fish people deep in the woods to find a group of small creatures living in groups. They looked a bit like rabbits in the previous life, but they weren't as agile as rabbits, but slow, with sharp teeth like cats. Same. Zhang Yun smiled, the target appears. In the evening, after a tiring day, Zhang Yun felt that it was necessary to treat herself well. We don't have any unique skills, we will cook some side dishes, and we can have a hot pot meal tonight with the special props in the warehouse. After thinking about it, Zhang Yun took out the book of food in the warehouse and opened the book cover outside. Equipment name, Book of Food Star, 5-star number of breakthroughs, max level, max introduction. This is a peculiar magic book that allows you to taste the world's food. The Book of Food, a magic book that can summon seasonings such as oil, salt, sauce, vinegar, and so on. There are also various cooking methods on it. It was Zhang Yun's reward for participating in the food festival and playing boss. Because there are many life players in the game, they don't like to fight and kill, they only like casual gameplay such as cooking, so this item is very popular, and Zhang Yun has a deep memory of it. Of course, he himself is sometimes boring, and he also cooks some dishes that are not easy to prepare in the real world in the game, and he is addicted. Zhang Yun flipped through the gourmet book. Let me see, what do you need to make rabbit hot pot? Carrots, lettuce, thousands of pieces, green onion and garlic. Yes, just use the island stone rabbit from this different world. Difference. He wrote down the process, then closed the book of food, took out the basic props that can be used for hot pot from the warehouse, and took out the corpses of a few island stone rabbits from the backpack, cut off the hard fur, washed it, and took it again. Marinate with soy sauce, starch, egg white, cooking wine, salt and onion for half an hour. Spend the Philosopher's Stone, let the Book of Food summon the hot pot bottom material, and the subsequent seasoning. Turn the pot on the light, pour oil, add in chili and other seasonings to start to stir fry a few times and put in the hot pot bottom material until a rich aroma is obtained, then add rabbit meat and boiling water and cook slowly. After finishing, Zhang Yun smelled the spicy scent from the rabbit meat hot pot and couldn't help sighing, wow! Fragrant! Really scented! It is a magical condiment summoned by a magic book, directly killing most hot pot restaurants in the real world. He leaned to the hot pot with boiling water, picked up a piece of island stone rabbit meat with his chopsticks, and gently put it into his mouth. One word. Cool. The rabbit meat tastes fresh and tender, and the spicy soup flows between the mouth. The strong stimulation is indescribable, as if being in a fire. Wow, rush! Zhang Yun couldn't help it, and immediately picked up the bowls and chopsticks next to her, and ate the rabbit meat in the hot pot. Wow! It's delicious! A bit spicy. It's so cool! Ah! Drink some water and fight again. Hiccup. After eating and drinking, Zhang Yun cleaned up the scene, let the Xiaohu people spread out and guarded the surrounding area, and began to set up tents for sleeping at night. Because Zhang Yun explored Onet herd of the island during the day, and found that the strongest creatures here were also the group of hard-armored pythons, so he didn't need to squat insignificantly on the beach with a wide view and rest directly in the woods. Okay. If there is an enemy attack at night, just give the little fish people experience, and when they reach level 10, they can unlock professional X skills and greatly improve their abilities. In addition, after level 10, you can equip the equipment from the previous event, and their ability will be even higher, directly slinging the hard-armored python that can't break the defense on the back. On hook leveling, improve your level of training, and enjoy the old age with salted fish. Unfortunately, the idea is beautiful, but the reality is very skinny. An unexpected guest suddenly appeared and broke his plan. Caveat. The Tide Murloc is attacked. Dead. Zhang Yun. Was it seconds? What is it? Before Zhang Yun could find it out clearly, another alert little Murloc was dropped in seconds, and the system prompt jumped out again. Caveat. The Tide Murloc is attacked. Dead. Damn. 2 in a row. Is this an elite monster with 2 skills? Zhang Yun didn't dare to be careless, and immediately took back the little fish people who hadn't entered the fighting state, and then ordered them to scatter 3 meters away from him, and waited. Come out. Zhang Yun seduced the enemy. However, as the wind blows, the grass, sand, and stones appear, but the enemy's figure has not appeared for a long time. How cautious! Zhang Yun was speechless for a while. This guy could instantly 2 little Murlocs, showing that he was superb and was one of the overlords on this island. This kind of creature is generally very arrogant, and if it is clear that the Murloc is more food, there is a high probability that it will attack directly. Just like a wolf catching a sheep, it is not afraid of the sheep at all, and will directly rush if it wants to rush. Even if you don't rush, you are just afraid of scaring the sheep away. And after the test just now, it must understand that its speed and response are far beyond the Murloc, and there is no need to worry that its attack will scare away the prey. The most is afraid of being injured by the fish people's counterattack. In this case, I will take the initiative to attack. Murloc 1, you go over and look at the corpses of the 2 little Murlocs. Hearing Zhang Yun's order, the little tidal Murloc, known as Murloc 1, took out the scimitar around his waist and ran towards the corpse of his companion. At the same time, Zhang Yun shifted her perspective and followed the little fish face to explore the grass. The enemy is not there. The body of the little Murloc was gone. Run! Zhang Yun was puzzled, and ordered several little Murlocs to scatter around, looking for the enemy's trail in the woods. Still none. Even if a Murloc runs super far, there is no enemy to attack it. Hit and run, is it okay? Zhang Yun narrowed his eyes, took back the Murlocs who went out to explore, and used ordinary resurrection props to resurrect the 2 Murlocs that had been killed. At this moment, Zhang Yun suddenly changed her mind. He thought that the island was full of low-level monsters that pulled the hips. He planned to slowly explore the island and study crossing the sea in the past 2 days. The night is dark and autumn is not suitable for killing monsters, so he just needs to rest. But I didn't expect that there would be a wretched monster on the island, who looked a bit strong. Suddenly, Zhang Yun's interest was aroused, so he planned to speed up the progress, directly upgrade the little fish people at night, and look for the whereabouts of this monster. I can't be prostituted for nothing anyway. It's shameful. Zhang Yun gave orders to the little fish people again. There are 5 teams for a total of 2 teams. One of them stays by her side and guards the surroundings, and the other explores in the direction where the enemy just appeared. The exploration distance is not limited, and keep going row. If you encounter an ordinary monster, 1 word, fight. With the current strength of the little fish people, as long as they don't encounter specialized creatures such as hard-armored pythons, they can basically hack one to death with 2 or 3 knives, and the upgrade speed is very fast. And if you encounter the enemy just now, it is also a word, send. It's good to be able to win the opponent, and it's okay if you can't win, as long as you can see the opponent clearly and let yourself estimate the strength of the opponent. After all, Zhang Yun now has time to attack each other. The exploration team kept moving forward, the sky gradually darkened, and the woods became darker. At this time, the special props that Zhang Yun had equipped for several little murlocs began to come into play, together emitting yellow light that illuminates the range of 5 meters, and he also used these lights to see the general situation around him. Star, 2 stars number of breakthroughs, max level, max skill, illuminate introduction, don't ask, ask is the nuclear miner's lamp, which permanently illuminates the night. This thing is just an ordinary prop in the game. Zhang Yun relied on it to survive last night. The method of use is the same as now. It is equipped on the head of a little murloc and used as a lamppost to illuminate the surroundings. Because it is equipment, it has durability, it must be repaired after a long time, otherwise it cannot be used. So Zhang Yun didn't take more, and only took 4 out, 1 on his side, and the other 3 on the murloc head of the exploration team. And his inventory is about 5,000. I forgot where it came from. With the help of bright light, the exploration team attracted many island creatures that were active in the dark. They hid in the dark, and then suddenly launched an attack on the little fish people. Snapped. 1 knife. Cut down the attackers. Snapped. Make up. Kill the attackers. Leveling is easy and enjoyable. After all, the level of the little fish people surpasses these island creatures by 3 or 4 levels, and there are bonuses from the professional system. It is not too simple to deal with these cats and dogs. However, what about that white prostitute? It ran over to kill 2 little murlocs and then disappeared. Zhang Yun was a little puzzled, and could only continue to track the field of vision of the exploration team, looking for that guy's figure. Soon, the exploratory team encountered a few more aboriginal people on the islands, using the same routine and hacked them to death. If it can't be hacked to death, 3 knives and 4 knives are used until it is hacked. In the monster's death operations, the little fishmen gained enough experience one by one, all of them were upgraded to level 10, and their panels also had new changes. Name, Tide Murloc Race, Title Inheritance, None Title, None Level, Level 10 Experience Value, 0 Health Value, 730/730 Endurance Value, 140/140 Personal Attributes, Strength 10, Agility 7, Endurance 6, Intelligence 1, Spirit 0, Charisma 0, Free Attribute Points, 0 Possess Skills, Symbiosis Occupation, Warrior Occupation Level, Level 1 Professional Attribute Points, Strength 5, Agility 3, Spirit 2x Skills, Increase your physical attack power slightly. Profession Skills, Slashing. Drinking Equipment, Rusty Scimitar Summoner, Zhang Yun Faction, Kingdom of Tides Overall Qualification Evaluation, 1-star Introduction. Ordinary soldiers in the Tidal Kingdom can fight in the water and on land, their speed will be increased when in the water, they have certain intelligence, and their growth potential is not high. Seeing the upgraded attributes of the little murloc, Zhang Yun smiled and snapped her fingers excitedly, nice. So far, his own upgrade bonus and entourage's level plus Chengdu are exactly the same as in the game, and the skills he will learn and the time point of learning skills are the same, there is no strange magic change. In this way, the upgrade bonus in the future should be the same as in the game, and he doesn't have to worry about the failure of the strategy stored in his mind. Similarly, he does not need to spend extra resources due to the skill set and attributes of the magic modification, summon redundant followers or repair unnecessary equipment. So why is the setting of Digwai deleted? This Nima is outrageous. After the upgrade, the little murloc exploration group became more powerful, and directly swaggered forward with the light. When encountering a creature on the island, it rushed over and cut it, or waited for the opponent to rush over and throw it. Relying on the percentage bonus of the X skills, the fishman's attack power is now up to a new level. When encountering a strange monster, it is basically a one-shot. However, because of the existence of the level 10 watershed, the experience points they gain from killing low-level monsters are greatly reduced, so even if the efficiency of killing monsters increases, their upgrade speed drops even lower. To break through this limit, you must fight monsters above level 10, or elite level monsters and boss level monsters that have not reached level 10 but have high star levels. However, Onet heard of the territory of this island has been explored by Zhang Yun. Except for the unknown white prostitute, the other creatures are not high star monsters, and their levels are also very low. Even if there is a strong presence in the remaining 2/3 of the territory, it is estimated that the number is very small, only a dozen. Therefore, Zhang Yun's current plan is to flatten the level of the little murlocs and raise them all to level 10. Late at night, the exploration team is still exploring. Zhang Yun was tired staring at them for a long time, so he didn't care about the little murloc who had already given the order to die, but lay down directly in the tent and fell asleep. He wasn't very worried that the white prostitute would attack him in the middle of the night. After all, there were 5 little murlocs squatting here. If he was attacked, the system would prompt him to wake him up as soon as possible. Similarly, if the exploratory team is attacked by a mob, he can immediately get up to check the situation there. In this way, one night passed, nothing happened. Zhang Yun slept happily until dawn. He unchained the tent and got out of it. 5 little murlocs were holding machetes and guarding around the tent with their eyes closed. They seem to be asleep, but they are actually asleep, but relying on their strong reaction power, they can actually react at the instant of an enemy attack, just like not sleeping. On the other side, the exploratory team has been on the way all night, and they don't know how long they have been walking, which enemies they have encountered on the way, and they all seem to be quite healthy anyway. There is no murloc downsizing, and there is not much lack of arms or legs, just a little bit of color on the body. Because the distance is too far, Zhang Yun can't see their actual status, but you can see that their levels are all 10th, but there is a guy who is very strange, and its experience bar is higher than the other murlocs combined. What's going on? He obviously didn't direct himself, so how come his experience was eaten by it? Could it be? Zhang Yun was startled and remembered a setting in the game. Should this guy have evolved his talent? Talent evolution, as the name suggests, is to increase the upper limit of a follower, and at the same time, its attributes will also increase, and more skills and stars will be unlocked. In the game, the probability of talent evolution is very low. On average, among tens of thousands of players, there are about hundreds of thousands of followers. Only one of them can evolve talent. Just like the official lottery, they choose 3 players from all the players who repost the tweet to give rewards, and the others are not rewarded individually. The probability is very touching. The entourage that will evolve is not specified. It may be a 1-star African miner or a 5-star European hero. The attributes after evolution are uncertain. Some will increase slightly, such as 2-star change to 3-star, and some will significant improvement, such as 1-star to 8 stars. That's right. Directly leap over the Dragon Gate. Evolve into an 8-star hero. Maybe this is not the culmination, because the official has not announced what the highest star is, but the player has the highest 8 stars, so 8 stars are considered the culmination of the game. And the big brother who got the 8 stars, in reality, is a mine owner. He saved the dragon diamonds for a long time, and then began to draw cards and characters wildly. After brushing almost all the resources, he finally obtained the first 5-star follower with an evolutionary talent, and he evolved directly from a 5-star hero to an 8-star hero. As a Godrunked hero, the daily consumption of dragon diamonds is naturally very scary. Big Brother has already wasted so many dragon diamonds in the early stage of the hero. Naturally, he can't afford to spend extra dragon diamonds to make this hero appear on the stage. In the warehouse. At the same time, because its storage is also a lot of consumption, Big Brother can only release all the previous 5-star and 4-star heroes with tiers, leaving only this big food as a collection. Until the opening of the big event, the official release of Dragon Diamond's limited time Krypton Gold gift package, this big brother released the Godrunked hero to fight the world, but the progress was far behind. Of course, in addition to this big brother, there are many wealthy masters who have brushed up talent evolution. Only a small part of them have brushed out a 1 or 2-star follower, most of which have lost their money, and people have suffered 2 losses. Such a thankless operation, coupled with the special martial arts and star rising activities opened in the later stages of the heroes, has resulted in no one specializing in the development of talent evolution followers in the middle and late stages of the game. This incident slowly faded away, and occasionally someone got a follower of talent evolution and would not show it off. After all, this thing is nothing to envy. As for Zhang Yun, he has never used a hero with 4 stars or more, and the entourages he carries are all free cannon fodder from the system. Naturally, talent evolution is unlikely to happen to him. Has talent evolved? Should I really win the lottery? Zhang Yun swallowed, and with anxiety, opened the detailed panel of the little Murloc and looked down carefully. Captain Tide Murloc. Got it. Real talent has evolved. God bless, just 2 stars, at most 3 stars, don't be high stars. Name, Captain of the Tide Murloc race, title inheritance, none title, Commander of the Tide Kingdom level 10 experience value, 2010 health value, 1040/1040 endurance value, 300/300 personal attributes, strength 16, agility 10, endurance 10, intelligence 3, spirit 1, charisma 0, free attribute points, 0 possess skills, symbiosis, summon reinforcements bloodthirsty occupation, warrior occupation level 1, professional attribute points, strength 5, agility 3, spirit 2x. Skills, increase your physical attack power slightly profession skills, slashing, drinking equipment, rusty scimitar summoner, Zhang Yun faction, Kingdom of Tides overall qualification evaluation, Samsung introduction. The elite soldiers of the Tide Kingdom have powerful combat capabilities and can also summon their companions. Although the growth potential is not high, they are very practical. If necessary, they can even invest in inheritance to increase their upper limit. Ha ha ha! It's a 3-star. The upper limit is only 3-star. My Dragon Diamond is saved. Zhang Yun laughed, and the happiness in her heart was like a white prostitute's soul, and she got the current up roll. Then he reacted, wow! This guy's skills are a bit strong. Can he summon 2 younger brothers of the same level? The attributes have also gone up. Professional level and professional attributes have not changed. It seems that the evolution of talent is individual talent, which is not compatible with the professional system. While Zhang Yun was enthusiastically studying the pattern of talent evolution, the exploration team on the other side was still on the way. Unless Zhang Yun took it back, they would continue to follow the command of last night for continuous exploration. The exploration team passed through the dense forest on the island and came to a rocky wasteland. The creatures here were slightly different from those in the dense forest, but the fighting force was still stretched, and the fishmen hacked it to death with a knife or 2. After finishing the research, Zhang Yun turned his attention to them. Hey, I don't feel that the white prostitute can't be found. Let's wait for it to take the bait. He touched his chin, thought carefully, and then planned to take the exploration team back. Anyway, that guy is on the island, no matter where he hides, there will always be a meeting. Rather than spending energy looking for it now, it's better to upgrade the remaining 5 Murlocs and upgrade them to level 10. When the time comes, the chances of winning against the opponent will be greater. Zhang Yun looked at the exploration team. These guys were fighting a weird scorpion the size of a cat on the wasteland. Seeing the other party's tail and foot, it is estimated that they will be knocked out by several Murlocs. He didn't think much, and directly raised his hand, ready to reclaim the fishmen when they left the battle. At this moment, the soil on the wasteland suddenly moved, and a giant worm like a worm broke through the soil. Boom! The worm opened its big sticky mouth and swallowed the scorpion that was about to be hacked and the nearest tidal murloc together. It's you! The white prostitute last night. Zhang Yun looked at the field in surprise. The huge worm was at least 2 meters thick and at least 5 meters long. Half of its body was exposed to the ground. After eating the murloc and scorpion, it immediately retracted into the ground. Leave a big pothole. The remaining murlocs croaked and jumped into the hole left by the worm with their machete, only to find that the worm was moving very fast, and it ran out of sight in a blink of an eye. Following the murloc's perspective, Zhang Yun looked at the dark and deep underground tunnel in front of him, as well as the sand slowly falling above the tunnel, and suddenly reacted. No. It's not right, there was no pit in the inspection yesterday. This bug is not the white prostitute of last night. It's a new enemy. The worm is gone. Like the enemy last night, this guy is also a prostitute and runs away. In the same way, this thing took a bite away from the tied little murloc, and didn't give the murloc a chance to stab it in the stomach. It was obviously powerful, far surpassing the ordinary creatures on the island. Incredible! A small island is crouching a tiger, hiding a dragon. In other words, this thing can escape. How to fight it? Zhang Yun recalled the scene where the worm appeared in the sky just now. It was like a tunnel worm in the interstellar space. It appeared very fast and rushed out of the ground to swallow the little murloc. And its falling speed is also very fast, it feels like a dolphin jumping out of the water in the sea, falling with gravity after reaching the highest point, returning to the already dug hole. But this guy, like the dolphin, stayed outside for at least 3 seconds after rushing out of the ground with a huge momentum on his upper body. During this period of time, its body has nowhere to burrow, and its huge body is not easy to turn. Except for the creatures where it was unearthed will be swallowed, other creatures around will not be attacked by it. In other words, this guy's attack can only AoE a small area at a time, and there is a vacuum period of up to 3 seconds. As long as you can launch an attack and touch it during this time, it is a living target. Furthermore, if it wants to resist, it will definitely twist its body to face the attacker. At this time, the worm's huge size will definitely exceed the hole it rushes out of the surface, and it will not be able to fall back into the cave for the first time. This gives more output time. Okay. But be careful of this guy's skills, in case it has any special abilities, it can quickly fall back to the ground. With its terrifying movement speed underground and ground-breaking power, even the little fish people will be destroyed by it. One more thing to consider is that this guy may also be able to move flexibly on the surface, but he is more cautious in his personality and chooses to launch a sneak attack underground. When the time comes, he will be in a hurry, and he will jump out to fight to the death. With its huge body and mouth, it is impossible to say that a child will swallow all the fish. It is hard to say whether the little murloc can break its defenses. In case it is a special physique like a slime, it is directly immune to physical damage. Tisk, it seems that the safest way is to get its body stuck in the hole to ensure that it can't go back and also cannot rush out of the ground, and then let the little murloc besiege its upper body. At that time, without the support and assistance of the lower body, even if the worm's body is relatively agile, it can only rely on that mouth to attack the murloc in one direction. I think about it, in this case, it should be the best to use freezing skills. Zhang Yun thought carefully, if it has a physical immune gummy physique, freezing can also break its characteristics and enhance its ability. Hurt. Okay. Specific summon cards with freezing skills, let me think, who is coming? Wait, let's collect information first. The bug may not be a powerful character. Let's study the countermeasures for a long time here, maybe it's all useless. Making up his mind, Zhang Yun took all the little fish people back and used props to resurrect the hapless one who was eaten by the bug. He issued a new order. This time, the 5 of you will go east and keep going. The creatures you encounter along the way should not actively attack them, but stay beside them for 3 seconds. If you hit you without opening your eyes, don't talk nonsense. Go up and get rid of them. If the other party doesn't care about you or runs away, don't chase after them. Go past them and continue to the east. Zhang Yun turned around. The other 5, you have explored enough for the expedition last night, follow me today and go west, let's see what the area has. You, go to the front to find the way, if you find the enemy, you will immediately retreat. You, stay on my left, pay attention to the enemies around you, don't let the enemies over there come over. You stay on the right side and pay attention to the enemies over there, don't let them touch me. The one who buckles the foot, yes, it's you, you will follow me later and protect me personally. The last one, you follow behind us, guard the enemy behind and keep your tail safe. This is a cross-defensive exploration array, invented by an old player. Its content is to make the entourage guard the 4 directions of front, back, left, and right, and pay attention to the surroundings while walking, and immediately warn when the enemy is seen. Although it's useless to run into powerful monsters, it is the best strategy for novice players to drive personally in the early days of land reclamation. If there are more followers, you can also set up a round defensive exploration array to guard the surroundings without dead ends. Of course, Zhang Yun can also choose the routine of yesterday and the day before yesterday, let her follower explore the way first, and sneak up on the safe road by herself. However, there are monsters and worms on the island. Zhang Yun feels that if she still uses this method today, she will probably die suddenly. And if he allows one of the teams to protect himself from going forward, the exploration progress will be affected, and the overall upgrade speed will also be reduced. Overall, it seems not very cost-effective. Therefore, for efficiency, he chose the former scheme. As for Zhang Yun not allowing another exploration team to actively attack the creatures on the island, that's because they don't need much experience to reach level 10, and they can do it with the hunter-type creatures on the island. And for harmless creatures such as the island stone rabbit, if he kills one batch, he will lose one batch. Without the game refresh mechanism, this place will eventually become an island. So, let's fight the more dangerous creatures. Of course, we reserve the ingredients for such cute things as the island stone rabbit. The order was issued, everyone moved forward, and the exploration team moved forward as fast as last night, unstoppable, and all the offensive creatures on the island encountered were killed by them. Relying on a lot of killing experience, the little fish people of the exploration team quickly reached the 10th level, but there was no lucky person with talent evolution. On Zhang Yun's side, they were moving very slowly, and it took a long time to walk on at herd of the expedition team. After all, it's for stability, and there is only one little murloc in the front. It's okay to face a single enemy, and it takes a second to the opponent. If it encounters 3 or 4 swarms of creatures, it will cost a lot time can solve each other. Naturally, their efficiency is not even a bit slow. Okay. Too slow. It seems we need to do more to open the way. It just so happens that there is a pond here. Let me try the skills of Captain Murloc. Come back. Captain Murloc, come here, use your skills on this pond and summon 2 reinforcements. Eula. The Tide Murloc captain responded as he jumped into the pond and made a circle in the water with his machete. Tidal Murloc captain launches the Summon Reinforcement skill. Successfully summon 2 Tide Murlocs. The system prompt appeared, and the circle drawn by the Murloc captain immediately emitted a faint blue light, reflecting each other in the water. Then, 2 dark shadows slowly emerged from the blue light.